Hi, my name's Jackie, and I'm the Registered Dietitian and Diabetes Program Coordinator for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Today, I'm going to be taking you through the aisles of the Grand Market, showing you how to eat healthy when dealing with diabetes. Managing your blood sugar is essential to controlling diabetes. The nutrient that has the greatest impact on blood sugar is carbohydrates. When we eat foods that contain carbohydrates, it's broken down in our body into glucose or sugar, which ultimately ends up raising blood glucose or blood sugar. Today we're going to be focusing on the different areas of the grocery store that include foods that contain carbohydrates and how those raise your blood sugar. Let's start off in the produce section. Fruits and vegetables are a great source of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber, all things which are good for us and promote health. Eating at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day has been associated with a decreased risk of cancer, heart disease, and stroke. But it's important to know that all fruits and starchy vegetables such as peas, corn, and potatoes do contain carbohydrates, and it will raise blood sugar. So it's just important to eat these foods in moderation. For potatoes, for example, we want to focus on about the size of 1 cup or 1 small fist. Okay? Another tip that I have for you is to eat the whole fruit instead of juice, and that's because the whole fruit contains more fiber in it. So next time you're craving a glass of orange juice, try a whole orange instead. A lot of people tell me that eating fresh fruits and vegetables is too expensive for their daily diet. But here at the Grand Market, we have the reduced produce item section, which has a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables marked down. Also, canned and frozen fruits and vegetables are just as good for us, and they're a really good option if your fresh produce isn't able to stay good on your counter as long as you'd like it to. Now we're in the dairy section. Dairy products are a good source of calcium and protein and can all be incorporated into a healthy diet. But just like fruits and vegetables, dairy contains a natural sugar called lactose. This lactose is broken down and will also raise blood sugar. So just like the fruits and vegetables, it's important to eat it in moderation and watch the portion size. One question that I get asked a lot is, what kind of milk should I be drinking? Skim, 1%, 2%, or whole milk? What's the difference between all of these? Well, all of these milks contain the same amount of carbohydrate, typically about 12 grams per cup. The difference between these different kinds of milk is the amount of fat in them. Skim milk has about less than 1 gram of fat per cup, whereas whole milk has about 8 grams of fat per cup. So for heart health and weight management, I would recommend choosing a skim or 1% milk. Here we are in the grains section. Grains and starches such as bread, pasta, and rice can all be incorporated into a healthy diet. What you want to aim for is to make at least half your grains whole grains. There's a couple different ways we can find out if a food is whole grain. Let's take a look at this bread, 12 grain. So we would assume it's whole grain. The first thing you want to do is flip it over and look at the ingredients list on the bottom. We want to look at the first ingredient, which on this bread is enriched unbleached flour. When you're looking for an item that's whole grain, you should see whole grain or whole wheat as the first item listed in the ingredients list. So even though this bread says 12 grain, it's not a whole grain product. Let's take a look at this 100% whole wheat bread. If we look at the ingredients list here, we can see that the first ingredient is whole wheat flour. That means that this product is a whole grain product. Another thing you'll want to look for on your bread products is at the nutrition label under fiber. You want to look for an item that has at least 2 grams of fiber per serving. This 100% whole wheat bread has 3 grams of dietary fiber per slice, so this is a great choice. All right. Our last stop on today's grocery store tour is the frozen food and sweets and treats section. Now, I have a huge sweet tooth myself, so I would never tell anyone to cut out all sweets and desserts. But like you've noticed throughout the theme of this grocery store tour, it's important to eat things in moderation and watch the portion size of them. So when it comes to sweets or desserts, I like to look for things that are already pre-portioned out. For example, these ice cream cups. These ice cream cups are already pre-portioned into about a half-cup serving, which makes it a lot easier to control how much you're eating rather than choosing an item such as a larger container of ice cream where you're choosing to scoop 2, 3, 4 scoops into a bowl. These pre-portioned items make it a lot easier to practice portion control. Thanks for joining me on today's grocery store tour. I hope you learned something about eating the foods you enjoy while still managing your blood sugar. Join me next time for a grocery store tour related to healthy eating and heart health.